friends, my name is Brayden. Thank you so much for watching. This is going to be my very first speed build slash YouTube video ever. So I'm really excited to be here with you guys and show this off. It is going to be a super realistic Victoria's Secret speed build, and hopefully you guys love it because I had a lot of fun doing this. This is not necessarily like my aesthetic and my thing as far as like super pink and girly. Actually, the Hot Topic next door is more of my thing, but hey, I mean, I had fun doing it anyway. It was a really big challenge. So I'm just going to walk through some of the things that I usually do while I build, try to answer some questions for you guys because I know you guys have a ton. And yeah, hopefully we can just get to know each other and have a good time. I am going to be posting videos. I'm going to post at least once a week, but I'm going to try for twice. Some builds just take me a lot longer. Like this one took me about 3 days. I know you're seeing it in a span of like 30 minutes. But yeah, in real life, it took me about 3 days. And it's just because I'm so picky and it just takes me forever to do anything. As you're seeing right now, I'm like putting furniture and deleting it, and I'm just not happy with what I'm doing. So yeah, that happens to me quite often, and it just drags the whole process out. So to answer some of the questions that I get quite often, I'll have questions like on my Facebook groups and stuff when I post about, oh, you know, how do you get inspiration or how do you do certain things? And honestly, I get inspiration from like realistic things. So a lot of people come to The Sims to escape from real life and they want like that more cartoony experience, but I am the opposite. I really enjoy the more realistic versions of things, like Alpha CC, and just making my builds as realistic as possible. And so a lot of my inspiration comes from things that I see in real life, you know, such as a mega mall with a bunch of stuff in it. I tend to think about what those things look like and I try to replicate them. Now, for this build, it was a lot harder because I haven't really ever... Okay, I've been in a Victoria's Secret like maybe twice in my life. Like I said, it's just not my kind of store. If it's your thing, you know, totally go for it. But yeah, for me, it's just not my thing. So I had to do a lot of searching on Google, like for what Victoria's Secret looked like inside, which I know sounds ridiculous to some people, but it's true. I've never been into it. So, whereas, you know, when I was building the Hot Topic, which I will do a speed build for you guys, I'm going to have to like kick it in reverse though, because it's already built, but that's okay. When I was doing the Hot Topic build, you know, that's something that came super, super naturally to me. And I was just like, oh, I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm just going to go for it. And it was built in a couple hours. Like I said, this took me 3 days. And yeah, it was super challenging. I kept changing my mind on things, and I didn't really have a good sense of direction. I didn't have anything planned in my head like I'd like to do. It just kind of came out how it is. So another thing I'm going to point out, so you see me pulling all of these things from this room down at the bottom of the Mega Mall. That is something that I do very frequently when I build, especially these stores. I will go onto an empty lot, and basically it saves you time while you're building, and you have all of your inspiration right there in front of you. You've already picked out what you want from the catalog, and it's just all right there in one room. And it's really super helpful for people like me who are indecisive about, you know, which direction they want to go in. It really just helps narrow down and keep your eyes focused on, you know, the end goal, which is to make a realistic Victoria's Secret or to make a realistic whatever. That is a big thing that I do, and I do it for every build, whether it be a house or a store, anything like that. Instead of sitting there and surfing through the catalog while I'm building, I will just go ahead and have that stuff pulled up for me, and it just makes the whole process go a lot quicker, and it makes it a ton easier, just like I said, so you don't lose that sense of direction really. So I would say that my second, well, actually probably my first most frequently asked question is, Where do you get your CC? So I get my CC from several different sources. I use the Sims resource, of course, and it's the simsresource.com. I can link it down below for you guys who are not familiar with it. I get that from there, and then I actually have the subscription through there, and it takes all the ads away. Makes it so much easier. And they've just updated their, I think they call it a manager, like the CC manager. Oh my goodness, that thing, I swear, it is so cool and it's super helpful. So it's definitely worth spending I think it's like $5 a month. It's definitely worth spending the $5 if you are gonna be downloading a lot of CC. I get some things from Simdom, and I know that website is kind of controversial. At least what I read from a Tumblr post back in the day. I'm not sure if it still is or not, but I always make sure to just go to the creator's website, and they have it like linked to, so like when you click on the download link, a lot of times it will take you to the actual creator's website, which is super helpful. By the way, I'm going to interject real quick on myself right here. So you're seeing my computer freeze. I have way too much stuff on this lot, and it took a dump on me for a second, but we're back. We're doing colored stars. But yeah, so Simsdom is one. Pinterest is a huge one, and it's so cool because I can just like lay in bed at night and pin the stuff that I want to download the next day, and it's super great. Tumblr is another one like that. You create a Tumblr and you can reblog all of the things that you want to download. Super easy, super helpful. The last thing I would say that I utilize the most is Patreon, which Patreon, if you're not familiar with, it is like a creator's monthly subscription to access some or all of their CC and their builds. Super worth it for a lot of people. They got like the coolest stuff on there, I swear. If you want really cool CC, some of the best ones are in Patreon. And I'm going to actually do, maybe on my Hot Topic video, I'm going to list out like all of my favorite creators and stuff and give that list to you guys. That way, you know who I'm shopping from, and if you see something in one of my builds you like, I can try to help you find it. And it's just a really good way to discover new artists and new content creators. A lot of people have asked if I am going to download the Mega Mall in like a Mediafire file. Gosh, that's hard to say. Say that 3 times fast. A Mediafire file or a SimShare file, and the short answer to that is no, because it is against a lot of the creators' terms of use to re-upload their stuff without their permission, and some don't let you do it at all. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do, or what I'm going to have to do to share this with you guys, is I'm going to have to download the tray files, which is just, you know, the basic blueprint of the whole Mega Mall. And then we're going to have to just list out all of the CC. That's really the only way that I can do it. And then if you guys, you know, want to go through and pick what you want or customize it completely just from the shell, you know, you can do that. Hi, Arlo. Hi, buddy. Sorry, guys. If you hear a little tail wagging, it's my dog. He is wanting attention right now. So he's just the cutest. He's a English cream long-haired mini dachshund. He's the best. But yeah, so what you're seeing me do right now is I'm utilizing bb.move objects on, as a lot of us I'm sure are familiar with. And I'm just placing all of these little lotions and bath stuff. This is basically like my bath corner. I deemed it, when I started building this, I was like, oh, that would be perfect for a little bath shelf. So yeah, that's what that is. And I'm basically just trying to fill this shelf up with all of the bath stuff. And a big thing about using the objects on is making sure you're seeing me keep pulling this shelf back, and it's just making sure that I'm lining this stuff up correctly with the shelves and just getting everything really precise and how I want it. I actually struggled a little bit with these bins, just getting them exactly how I wanted it, but decided on this cute little camel-y colored, tan, beigey looking colored wicker bin to hold all of these bath bombs. Now, you know, I basically am just lining the bath bombs up on the top because you can't really see into it, so I'm just like, you know what, you can see toward like the top layer of it, but you can't see underneath them. So I don't find it necessary to put, you know, a million bath bombs in there, but if you want to and you want to try that, go for it. So we got these cute little face masks. I'm just lining up here, just double checking and making sure they're gonna stay on that shelf exactly how they're supposed to. Another big thing when I'm cluttering, to make it look more realistic, I will pick different shaped bottles, whether they be different sizes, different like swatches, different shapes. Anything to really just make it cluttery and make it look realistic is going to help you out a lot. If you're using just the regular slots on the shelves, you know, it's not really helpful for a realistic build, because when do you go into a store and see like 3 lotions on a shelf? Never, right? You go in and you see them completely cluttered full. So I think that's pretty vital to making this build really realistic, and honestly making any build really realistic. Or even, you know, if you're doing a house, like how often do you go into your house and you see like one thing in a pantry or something, you know? And I'm sure at some point I'll do a house build for you guys, but you know, it's just, you gotta just think about things, little things that make this stuff look realistic, and it's just stuff like that. So right now I'm lining up these pink gift boxes, and I'm going to put these loofahs in a basket, and it takes me a second because I forgot to get a basket but I do end up getting this little rectangle looking basket, and I wanted to stack them up higher than this, but it just wasn't happening. It would have floated in the air, so I stuck with just lining them on the bottom and just putting more perfume, bath stuff up. Like I said, I mean, it doesn't have to be anything like super crazy. You don't even have to go like as necessarily like as in depth as I do. It's just, it's a me thing. I'm just super picky, like I said. And so when I picked out this arch, I've never used this arch before. I downloaded it in a construction set, but it kind of reminded me of like the little bathrobe section in Victoria's Secret / Pink, where they've got the bathrobes and stuff hanging up. So I thought that might be really cool to implicate here. As you can see though, I'm struggling with it a little bit. This robe keeps wanting to snap, and it's not wanting to go where it's supposed to. I will say, another tip for doing clothes and stuff and hanging up stuff like this, these are obviously stickers and not real clothes. If you have the stickers, it's best to hang them up at an angle, just because it looks weird if they are into the thing on their sides. It looks like a bunch of pieces of paper lined up, and it just looks really funny when you're taking pictures and you're doing stuff like that. So, and of course, you know, these things that I do, if you don't do them or you disagree, that's totally your call. I'm just explaining things from my perspective and like how I think about things and how I look at things. So right now, I don't even know if Victoria's Secret sells candles, but I'm getting ready to line this shelf up with candles anyways, because it just seems like a good idea. And at this point, I'm actually getting kind of nervous that I don't have enough stuff to fill the shop up with. I don't know why I was scared of that, because I end up having way more than enough, but I was just afraid I was going to run out of like lotions and stuff. So I started looking for other items that I thought could work for this build, and then just kind of implicated it into it. So like I said, what you're seeing me move this whole time is just, it's like a little lingerie box, and it's driving me crazy this whole time. I know you can't tell, but yeah, I'm dragging it around the room everywhere I go, because they're like stuck on these weird pegs, and it's just wanting to stick to the wall like a suction cup, and it's just driving me crazy. So originally when I planned this build, I was going to do a Victoria's Secret and then a pink store beside it like you see in real life. However, I didn't really have enough pink merchandise necessarily to really warrant an entire store. So I decided, and I'm sure you guys saw in the beginning where I was messing with the archways and stuff like that, I decided just to take those out and kind of slam pack it all into one. That way, number one, I had enough stuff to do this with, and number two, like, it just seemed like a better idea than to have two of the basically the same store in my mind anyway. I don't know, Pink and Victoria's Secret might be totally different things, but in my mind they're basically the same thing. So I'm just taking up less room, and now we have room for another store. I have no idea what we're going to put next door, but at some point they'll have a neighbor. And so that was just my thinking on that. I forgot to touch on that whenever I was actually doing it. So right now we are getting into the very infamous bra and panty counter. This is what I think of when I think about Victoria's Secret. I think about all these bras lined up in this drawer. Like I said, never really been like hardcore shopping at Victoria's Secret, but when I'm thinking about it mentally, this is what my mind jumps to is, oh, it's, you know, the bra and panty counter, which I'm pretty sure that everybody thinks about this when they go to Victoria's Secret. And I'm just lining these up, and I'm not sure how far out I wanted to go yet, but I will end up deleting like a row or two of them, and I get this brilliant idea because I'm like, I know you can't see it, but in between these takes, I am on Google, just like Googling what these bras look like on this table, and it looks like they're in these tray things. So I'm like scrolling through my catalog, and I'm like, oh my god, that the top of that table looks exactly like what I need. So a lot of what I do in my builds is I will mix furniture together like this and to create something entirely different, and it's really cool how it turns out. I really actually liked this, and because originally I was just searching for a tray, but I think this turned out a lot better actually. So now you're just seeing me line all of these up, and I'm changing out the swatch colors. Some people like to do the swatch colors like before they put them on the table, and I do sometimes. I don't really have a preference, but especially like when I'm watching this back, it actually looks really satisfying to see me do them in speed mode. So yeah, that it looks really cool. So I decided I wanted to try to like do this drawer pull out, basically like someone had pulled out the drawer, and it just didn't look right to me, and I was super bummed out about it because I really wanted to try for that. But it wasn't right, and it kind of drove me nuts a little bit, so I ended up vetoing that idea and just decided to put the panties on the other side of the counter, and which I did see some pictures on Google like with the panties on the other side of the counter, so I wasn't too upset about that. Plus I didn't have to come up with more decor items to put over on that side, and yeah, so it's fine, it's totally fine. But I still think it would have been a cool idea to see. It just wasn't quite right, and it just didn't sit right with me. So yeah, that was my thought process on that. Again, just changing the swatches over and just being super OCD about how these are being lined up and just making sure that they are even on both sides, which they're not right now, and I do end up fixing it in a minute. And yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and put these angels back and move those out of the way. And so I started on this table, and I actually had this table in my Hot Topic build. It was a super pain in the butt. Just the slots are weird on it, and the panties especially looked really weird on it. Like you can see them kind of cutting through, even though they're sitting on top like they're supposed to be. It just wasn't working out for me, and I didn't like it in here very much, and I didn't have very many of these panty swatches, so I vetoed that and just deleted it and went to work on this side of the store instead. And we have these two tables that are basically the same table, one's just minimized down real small. And I actually end up having a problem here in just a second that you'll see with my bras and panties floating. Yeah, see, they're cutting in and out. This happens to me quite often with surfaces, and an easy way to fix it, especially in this particular situation, is to just search on your catalog, search for slab. You'll see me pull it up here in just a second. And sometimes it works to just double up the item, but the slab really worked well for this. So just layering them on top of each other, and it literally just looks like the table is just a little bit wider than it was. And it saves my life. It saves my life all the time, and you'll see it happen again when I get to these white counters over here. I tend to use that quick little, tip quite often. Using that marble slab and the vent is something that is really helpful, especially if you have those gaps and you just can't get to what you're trying to go for. So now we are back on this side of the room, and I'm just pulling up some little makeup caboodle, makeup bag things. Funny enough, I actually had a makeup bag that looked almost identical to that little light pink one there. So I was like, oh, I definitely have to implicate those. And these, I'm just doing like little makeup clutches. Like I said, I'm not sure if Victoria's Secret even still sells these, but it's totally fine, you know. And I have a Victoria's Secret blanket actually that I really love a lot. So I was definitely going to put this stack of blankets in here that I think are actually towels, but you know, to me they look more like stacks of blankets. So I implicated those up top and just decided to put this cute little light up letterboard sign up there, just to give a little variation. You know, not everything has to be clutter, clutter, clutter. It's perfectly fine for you to have like the little breaks in between. Fun fact, I used a Victoria's Secret backpack throughout college that I found at Goodwill. So yeah, I had to put some backpacks in there. It was actually a really good backpack. It held up for quite a while. And it actually worked out to where the slots did not hate me on this shelf and just let me like kind of tag them in there. Just putting up some pillows and a cute little light up star. I'm still dragging this lingerie box around everywhere. I have no idea even if Victoria's Secret sells shoes or not, but it just seems like a good idea because I was going to do like the more risque kind of lingerie over on this side. So it seemed like a good idea to put these over here, and so I just decided to line up some shoe boxes. Originally I was going to put the high heels on this bottom shelf, but here in a second you'll see me move them up top, and I'm glad I did that because I think it looks a lot better up there actually. And we're back over on this side where I have decided to put all of the other perfumes that have not already been put up on this shelf over here. Like I said, I kind of was worried about running out of space, and well, not running out of space, but like running out of perfumes and decor stuff. But as you see, I have plenty and I'm perfectly fine. So what I'm doing here is just kind of using that tip that I told you about earlier about using those various shapes and sizes of things, and I realized this shelf is really big and I was just like, crap. So it's taken quite a lot to get to where I need it to be, fullness wise, to where I'm happy with it, but hey, it's perfectly fine. And you know, like doing what I'm doing right now, like where you minimize the size down, totally cool, because it could be like little tester bottles, you know. So at this point I just pulling these little caboodles still, and this this counter right here is giving me so much trouble, and I'm just ready to like punch it in the face. So I decided to leave just one up there. Usually I would put like 2 or 3, but yeah, the struggle was real with that. And this little mountain of face cream, not sure where that inspiration came from, but I just decided to throw it in there just to give that variant shape on that side and just line up these cute little bottles. You know, while I'm thinking about it, what do you guys want to see me build next? Would you like to see a Hot Topic build, which unfortunately I would have to do in reverse, so you wouldn't get to see me place items like this, but you will see the items go up like they should. So I can do that. We have everything in this mega mall. But what would you guys like to see? Like I have a pet store, I have, I want to do a Best Buy, a Toys R Us, a Bye Bye Baby. I have a movie theater, an aquarium, what else? A skate store, like a Vans basically, but it's just called Skate Zone. I have Anthropology. I have Crate and Barrel. I can literally do pretty much anything as long as I can find the CC for it. And I was actually thinking about doing the pet store next, but I would like to hear what you guys think. So drop me some comments down below. Let me know what you guys would like to see, because I'm really interested. So right now, back to the build. I'm just putting these little gift sets out, perfect for Christmas, for your loved ones, or Valentine's Day, or any little holiday that's coming up. And just putting these lotions down here at the bottom, and just going back to my room. over down here and getting this luggage because I'm like, oh, you know what? I know that Victoria's Secret has luggage because I've seen their duffel bags. So I'm like, okay, we're going to put some duffel bags on here to fill this space up. And I wanted to give good variation of clutter, like I always want to do that. So decide to make a sunglasses shelf. Not even sure if they have sunglasses there. Like most things, I'm not sure if they have it or not. But thought it might be a cute idea, even if they didn't have it. And it turns out I only had like 2 or 3 different sunglasses, like the actual frames. So I ended up just sizing them down just to kind of make them look a little different. And I was going to fill this entire shelf up with sunglasses, but I saw this cute little sculpture that I had picked out where it kind of looks like the equivalent of like a jewelry holder, but for sunglasses, where it's like a little face. And so I just decided to put that up, and now I'm just gonna throw some mirrors down because it seems like a good idea. A lot of things, you guys, I really can't explain myself because I have no rhyme or reason for what I do a lot of times, and I'm just like, oh, I'm just gonna throw that there. So these panties are going to go on this table. Like I said, I wanted to make this corner a little more risque and fancy. So lining up all these underwears in different sizes because we got to be inclusive. You know what I'm saying? Victoria's Secret, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. But anyways, yeah. So I'm having the floating shelf trick problem again. So I'm just throwing down these slabs, trying to get them all lined up and get them to where they're not doing that weird flickering thing. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's the freaking death of me when I'm putting stuff on top of each other. I hate that. It's so annoying. But I'm just putting these up, and they're actually stickers, but they look so good from the front. Like, you just don't, like, honestly, if I didn't know that they were stickers, I wouldn't realize that they were stickers. I'll say that, which is the best kind of stickers to have clothing-wise. So I'm just putting a couple of swatches up, and honestly, there were so many of them, I could have just lined the whole wall, but decided to stop at only 3. Just putting up these corsets and this little teddy up beside these, and finally find a home for these little lingerie boxes underneath all of this stuff. And I'm finally like, oh, thank God I can just stop worrying about them. Using these retail pegs from Bill L's Patreon, totally worth the money. It saved me in my Hot Topic build, and it's saving these right now. Because for some reason, they didn't come out with these with the pack, with the Get to Work pack for whatever reason, but felt like that should have been included in the retail stuff. But super grateful to Bill for making these, and honestly, all of you guys, like all of you content creators, I have no idea how you do it, because I literally just learned how to recolor stuff today, like as I'm recording this. And it's really tough, and I tried my hand at Blender and immediately uninstalled it. I was just like, absolutely not. So I don't know how you guys do it, but yeah, you guys are crazy. But in a good way, of course. I'm jealous. I wish I could do it. I wish I could make my own meshes, but yeah, just not happening. So on this side over here, I'm just putting up all of these clothes, and I'm thinking more along the lines of like the pink side of the store, just because I know that they sell more like clothing items than they do underwear and stuff. So yeah, that's kind of my thought process over here, is that, oh hey, these employees could be rolling out this little pink rack, and it's like they're going on the shelf. So I'm just putting these shirts up, and it's actually driving me absolutely bonkers that they're backwards, but that's just the way that they were made. And originally I wanted to find some curtains to put up here, but I end up finding like these little ornaments that are on these strings. Yep, these right here. And I thought they looked way nicer than the curtains, so I was like, oh, I should leave those. And for the final time, I'm done fiddling on that side of the counter because I'm just over it. I just got so tired of trying to find something to go there, and I just really didn't want to do any more clutter on that side of the store because I felt like it had plenty. So I'm just going to throw out some card readers here so we can take in some money and we can get to work on these fitting rooms. I honestly didn't deck these out like I could have, and it's because they're so small that you literally can't even like take good pictures back here. And plus, I mean, fitting rooms are kind of bare anyways, so I decided to just put a mirror up, and I'm trying to find a good light to go over, and I settle on just a little black one. And I put this Beetlejuice looking chair here in the corner. And I was going to throw some pillows in, but honestly, like I said, you're not even going to be able to see it. So I just throw out some of these cute neons, put some curtains so nobody's peeping through the doors. And here in a minute, I'm going to throw up some wall art and close her up, and that will be that. For the fitting rooms, I hate having to go into the top view to organize lights all in a row, and I actually end up having to go back and fix one of them off camera. Because as you can see, that middle one is like way higher than it should be, and I just didn't see it for whatever reason. But yeah, I'm just fixing the picture, and we're almost about getting to the end right now. Just finishing up these last little touches and putting the lights up, and I am gonna go back and fix the storefront. I'm not sure how I want to do it yet, but I know I'm just not happy with it just plain like that. So yeah, it's just going to be something entirely different than what you see right now. Picking out the floors, and then we are done. That is it. Let's do a walkthrough. What do you guys think? I actually really love it. I hope you guys do too. Please leave me some comments down below on what you want to see next from me. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, my Instagram is going to be down below in the description box, but it's Braden Builds The Sims. Super easy, and it's a good way to keep up with some of the builds that I'm not doing videos on. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. Stay healthy, stay safe, stay hydrated, and I will see you next time. Bye!